Hello everyone! Okay, David here, and I am going to do another review of Chapter 21, The Hunger Games. And this chapter is probably one of my favorites so far. We actually get to see Thresh make an appearance for finally. Been waiting for this. And we get to see some really cool things about Gale and Katniss and some other cool things I want to point out. There's a lot of shit in this chapter, basically, what I'm trying to say. So are you ready? Yeah, you are. Okay. So, in my earlier review, I didn't realize why she had to do the cough syrup thing earlier, or the cough syrup, the sleep syrup earlier. And I realized it's because, she had to set up the whole, covering up Peeta so she can hide him. But I honestly would have risked it. I mean, honestly, if everyone's going to go to the feast at the Cornucopia, I doubt those caves would have helped much. I don't know. I guess, there's always a chance that someone's been stalking here the whole time, so. But then if they're stalking here the whole time, then they would have noticed her doing that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and go on. And this is something she says that I don't really agree with. And sorry about that. Yeah, so she says it's strange to be so physically close to someone who's so distant. And she's referring to Peeta. Okay, and now they're cuddling, or not cuddling, I guess Peeta's kind of out cold and she's, snuggling up next to him, but it's just weird to me that she actually thinks that Peeta's the one being distant when clearly Katniss is the one doing that. So, yeah. It just kind of pisses me off because so many times Peeta has basically been throwing things at Katniss like, I like you, I want to kiss you, and all these things, and I don't know. Katniss is really just in her own little world. So then they actually, I learned that they close school just to show the feasting on TV to the kids, which is kind of fucked up. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. But I thought this would actually be a pretty cool scene in the movie, a really nice one if they can pull it off. How she talks about how the peacekeepers are probably all around. Everyone in the District 12 is probably, watching her and cheering her on. That's pretty cool because even the peacekeepers supposedly are cheering her on, and peacekeepers are supposed to be on the Capitol side, but it's kind of cool that everyone's getting together to root on for Katniss. It's kind of cool though because everyone really is. I mean, District 11, guarantee other districts have respect for her, and even the Capitol people are really liking Katniss. So I wonder if that means that she's going to have some people on her side to start maybe a rebellion. Who knows? But then let's talk about Gale. So Gale, I feel sorry for Gale, honestly. I feel sorry for Gale and Peeta. I feel sorry for anyone that's related to Katniss, honestly, in any way, shape, or form, because if Katniss is probably somewhat in your life, you're probably going to suffer. Just saying. Because, he's probably watching, Peeta make out with Katniss, and they're doing things, and, it's obvious that Gale likes Katniss, so I feel kind of bad for him, But, what's really cool, though, is that, I bet you that he is going to, as soon as he sees Katniss, he's just going to run up to her and give her a bear hug, or who knows, ask her to marry her, something like that, because I guarantee you he's seeing all this shit and he's like, what the hell, Katniss, thought we had something, man. Don't fall for Peeta's biscuits. He doesn't cook that great bread. Anyway, I'm sorry. But, yeah, so I can totally see that happening, and I actually like how she actually starts thinking, I wonder how Gale thinks about me kissing all, Peeta, because she's actually considering Gale a little bit. That's a good sign that you like somebody if you're considering their feelings. So it's obvious that Katniss likes Gale. She just doesn't really realize it, I guess. And yeah, she's constantly thinking about Gale in this chapter. And then there's a little sentence here that, or it's not really a sentence, but it's a little passage, if you will, that really caught my attention. I really liked, and it was kind of like, the woods always look different at night. Even with the glasses, everything has an unfamiliar slant to it, as if the daytime trees and flowers and stones had gone to bed and sent slightly more ominous versions of themselves to take their place. So I like that. I like that. That was really nicely written. I think it kind of shows that something gloomy is about to happen or something dark's going to happen. I don't know. I really don't know exactly what this means. I mean, I'll obviously find out later. But I just like that. I like how she describes the scenery. Like, everything has this really, dark and, weird feeling, I like that. And maybe it kind of foreshadows that shit's going to go down, so. Anyway. And then that happens later. She says the sky turns misty morning gray. So that kind of shows that something dark's going to happen too, so. So this is something cool that Foxface did that I thought was like this is actually something that I had not seen coming, and I was wondering what Foxface was going to do. But this was really genius. This is something I totally, if I had time to think about it, I may have done this, because this is really smart. Basically, if you don't know, the feasting is, they have a bunch of things out. They have, like a bunch of supplies out, and that's what people are going for. And basically, it's kind of encouraging a bloodbath because someone could die. But okay. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to check something. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah. So basically, Foxface runs out as soon as she can. As soon as those backpacks get revealed, she just bolts for her backpack and runs. And that's really smart, because you think it's dangerous, oh, there's all these dangerous people around. But really, it's kind of smart because, if they chase her, then they're going to leave what they need behind, and someone could take it. So it's really kind of smart that she did that. But it's also kind of risky on her part, too, because if someone else did that, shit might go down, especially if someone else did that. I mean, everyone besides Foxface is more of a threat, honestly, so far. But I still think Foxface is going to be some kind of threat later. But that's just my prediction. So yeah, even Katniss is like, pretty enthusiastic about this. But here's where shit gets real, man. Okay, so this, then Katniss is like, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing, and she runs, and then a knife comes sizzling towards her, but she's able to dodge it, goes back, pulls an arrow right through Chloe's left arm. But that's crazy, like, man, so Katniss is totally willing to kill, like, man, like, at first, it's kind of like a crime of passion, and now she's totally ready to murder. And now, look, I know I bring this up a lot, but like I said, killing's pretty serious to me, so that means it's kind of surprising. Katniss is just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him, sure. So anyway, I don't know. But then we kind of see that Clove doesn't really deserve it, but, Katniss killing her is probably, not as bad as what she's gonna do. But this just doesn't make sense for me, Katniss. Katniss aims to kill Clove, right? And then it hits her arm, right? So she's like, oh shit, my arm. Why didn't Katniss take another bow, which she did, pull it back, which she did, and then launch it at Clove again and kill her, finish her off? She just says, let me go get my bow, pull it back, turn around, yeah, run towards something, leave my back completely vulnerable. That's so smart. God, Katniss, I mean, she was irrational, everything else, but at least I had respect for her and her hunting, whatever, and her skills. But this is clearly just a huge fuck up. Why would you... Okay, so if she wants to pull the excuse, oh, I wasn't really ready to kill someone, well, you just aimed at her heart, so that would have killed her. So it just doesn't make sense to me why she didn't just finish Clove off. I mean, even the excuse of, oh, well, Kato might be close by, well, what's he going to do to stop that? I mean, like, all he has to do is... I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make sense. God, it's kind of like a little plot hole, but I can see that it's supposed to be there to make it interesting. And I could tell that Katniss was probably just thinking, I need to get to this bag and get the fuck out of here. I don't want to sit here and fight. But honestly, she had plenty of time to do that. I don't know. So anyway, maybe it's quick thinking, but that's what I would have done. I mean, if I was willing to kill, even though I wouldn't, but anyway, enough about that. So basically, Clove is ready to just basically torture the shit out of Katniss. And, out of nowhere, okay, I won't get into too much about how Clove is basically, I gotta say that's gonna be a cool scene to see in the movie, how Clove is just like, grabbing her face back and forth, ready to chop her down and like a serial killer, and then out of nowhere, Thresh fucking just tackles the shit out of her and just holds her up like a little rag doll and just takes a stone and smashes her face in. Damn, that is crazy. Oh, I want to see that done so bad. I don't want to see, like, her get murdered or anything, but that's going to be a pretty intense scene, and I'm telling you, this movie cannot be rated PG-13. I want to see this movie rated R, and I want them to show this shit gory as hell, because that would be pretty cool. But I think they're probably going to try and go PG-13 since there is a lot of teenage audience, but this shit's pretty intense. I guarantee in the movie it's just going to show Thresh being like, "Rrr," and then drop it and then cut away or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so Thresh is basically like an ox. He's pretty crazy, and it's funny that Thresh actually was, aims the rock at Katniss now, but then he's like, I heard she said that you and Rue teamed up, and then, you know. And she's like, yeah, I saved Rue and everything. I didn't save her, you know. I tried to save her. I killed the guy that killed her and whatever, whatever. And Thresh is like, you know, that's actually... And then she said, you know, she gave the bread. And then she said District 11 gave her bread. But here's the weird thing that I wish Suzanne Call would have mentioned. I don't know if it's supposed to be implied. She said that she sang Rue to sleep. It'd be kind of cool if Thresh kind of recognized, oh wait, you know, because honestly, her story could be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why Thresh even believed her. I mean, yeah, the Clove kind of said that they were allies, but that's not enough to say that he saved her and sent her bread and shit. District 11 sent her bread, but I think that if it would have been cool if it showed that Thresh knew what Rue likes to sing, and I was like, oh, nah, it does make sense that Katniss sang to Rue, and Rue does like singing, so, you know, it would be kind of cool if Thresh made that connection. Maybe he does, it just doesn't say it. So that's cool. So yeah. Yeah, after that, this is something I want to talk about. So basically Thresh lets her go and says, hey, you know, we'll be even after this. You know, you saved Rue, or you tried to anyway. We'll call it even, which I thought, of course, is going to happen, I mean. But I liked how Katniss really didn't beg for her life this whole time. This whole time, she never was like, I need to live, I need to live. She was like, you know what, fuck you, Clove, I'm going to spit in your face. And even for Thresh, she wasn't like resisting. She was just like, you know, she wasn't trying to beg for her life or anything. She's just like, I'm just gonna accept it. And she's just like, please make it quick. And I like that. I like what Katniss did there. But so let's talk about something that I don't like about. Maybe Katniss will see it later, and it wasn't in this chapter anyway. How Cato basically. First of all, I don't know where the fuck Cato was. I guarantee Cato was too sick to help, and they wanted to make it seem like Cato could help because maybe that's something inside that supplies was something that Cato needed because, you know. Otherwise, I would imagine Cato would be the one out there, or at least close by. But anyway, so so Cato comes out, and I guess Thresh is gone with their supplies. Supposedly, we don't know for sure. Thresh could have died, you know. But Cato kneels beside Clove, and he's begging her to live, and they're having a really intense moment. And Katniss is just like, they're dead, yeah. But you know, honestly, I mean, like. It'd be interesting to see Katniss notice, like, wow, even though they have, like, a twisted reality, they're just like me and Peeta. You know, he actually cares about her. That was, like, an intense moment. Like, you know, even though they're enemies, they can still see the pain of loss, you know. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if she recognized that, but maybe, I don't know. I think Suzanne Collins wanted us to recognize that, at least. So anyway. So let's talk about this last line in here that I think symbolizes a lot. Now look, there are so many ways to interpret this. I'm going to read it first. The last thing, and she just got the medicine basically for, you know, Peeta's poisoning, jabbed it into his wherever, and you know, that's supposed to heal him, and then she says, the last thing I remember is an exquisitely beautiful green and silver moth landing on the curve of my wrist. What does that mean? Well, let's look at what moths symbolize. I was looking up on Google because I really don't know what moths symbolize. I was thinking maybe death, but apparently they symbolize more like heightened awareness, freedom, influence, clarity. So I was wondering, and even knowledge of the other world. You know, because you see moths a lot in something like otherworldly. But I wonder if that means that she's out of it, or is supposed to try and say that she's found clarity, they're free now, they're free because, you know, they really got what they needed, there's freedom, there's clarity. I'm not sure, so I really wanted to analyze that, and I want to know what you think about that. But anyway, I was wondering what that meant. But yeah, that's it. This is actually a pretty short review compared to my other ones. And I can't wait to read chapter 23. That is 3 more chapters to go. Look at that. I am so ready to read this book. Anyway, my name's David. That was my review. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And maybe learned something. Okay, and definitely, if you've read Hunger Games, I would definitely recommend rereading it, especially if you missed some things. I mean, it's definitely fun to reread things, especially like this. I'm definitely going to reread this after, you know, maybe after a few months after I read all 3 books. So, anyway, I'm going to go now. Goodbye.